What's up, Christopher?
Hi, sorry. That opened up immediately. Sorry, guys. I'm running a little late today. Been a little
Yeah,
crazy on the vortex of astrology. How's everyone doing?
everyone's sharing how they're doing actually, and
What's the consensus?
it seems like I'm hearing like there's some excitement, there's some love, but then there's a lot of people talking about like a roller coaster of emotions type energy, which I'm personally feeling as well. Of like which way do I go? What direction is right? And and just like this prominent uncertainty energy.
Mm, mm. Uncertainty about what? I mean, the future, what to do. Something unmotivated here. Mostly reading some of this. Yeah,
Yeah, read some of them. Guys, let us know. Let
yeah.
us
Tell
know
us.
what's going on.
Yeah, let's do
Exhausted
it.
but wired. Um, for me, it just feels like a lot of excitement, uh, but there's still like massive forks in the road, massive decisions to be made.
Okay, correct. That is correct. I mean, probably the most decisions you've ever made, in your entire life to some degree. Does it feel like that for people, by the way? Does it feel like heavy,
Heavy was
important?
said.
Okay.
Heavy was said. So much pushing. I'm reading comments. So much pushing and still waiting for fruition. Uh, Earthquake. People are talking about the earthquakes that happened. Weekend felt a bit flat, and then they're saying today's feels a little bit lighter. Massive roller coaster, chaotic energy interlaced with deep love frequency. I like that one.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, so that's what's going on. People
What
are,
and what's the chaos? Because you don't have any, example of the chaos, or
guys. You have any examples of the chaos?
what's chaotic? What's chaotic? I'm just curious. Tell us what's chaotic. Some
Yeah,
person feels good. North Star frequency, Reiki. Well, yeah, you got all the good stuff there. Issues popping up. Not sleeping at night. Okay. Pushing the day. Feel like I'm being weighed down. Okay. Cramping on the chakra. Probably need a bit more grounding as collective. Okay. Communication with loved ones, big time. Seeing my heart growing. Okay. Oh, heart growing. Yeah. And the 40 days self love is great. So I'm waiting for one more, but okay. Everything normal seems to have an issue. That's interesting. Nausea. I've had a lot of that too myself. A
people.
lot of body issues. Triggers, expenses, relationships. Okay. Financials. Find solutions for financials. Yep. Okay. This is pretty okay, so where we are in the story is we've just finished the first decan of Leo.
Decan.
Excuse me. Okay.
What is that? Decan.
Well, a decan is in essence 30 days of the month is actually divided in three sets of 10. So in the old world, a week was 10 days, not 7. So it used to be that they were aligned with the decans. So, the first decan is your relationship to yourself and how you incarnate in that experience. The second decan is your ability to materialize things into the world every day. And the third decan is your ability to, what's the word? Your ability to enchant and make the future what you want it. So each
I love
decan is
enchant. Yeah.
enchant. You like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a new word that I'm using instead of manifest.
Right.
Because it really is an enchantment because it's your magic in your heart that goes into it, to make it happen. So where we are is that the first decan, which is incarnation of Leo, is complete now. And it happened, just recently. Let me figure out exactly when it happened for you. I almost have the date here. I'm gonna look up today's date. And that decan was what we have been so far in Leo, which was whether or not my heart is satisfied with myself, loving myself, the self-love aspect. So the incarnation of the heart is whether or not the heart comes in authentically, it expresses itself authentically to itself, treats itself the way it needs to be treated. So The heart needs to be loved by the heart. And so, no matter what's been going on in your life, I'm just gonna see exactly where today. Hold on. My computer's doing weird stuff today. There's a lot of, by the way, Mercury's retrograde, and I've never seen more tech issues in this Mercury retrograde than I have in this Mercury retrograde. I mean, this Mercury retrograde is the most disruptive technology going out I've ever experienced. I mean, to this date. So it's a very incredible one. So today, for instance, we're in step 12. All right. And step 12 is really when you're just leaving. The first decan is step 0 through 9, really. That's first decan, because 10 is the beginning of the next decan, but you're not complete until you're 2 steps in the next decan. So step 11 is when you become you, and you exist as 0 through 9, and then 10 through 11. 10 and 11 are like the part of you sticking on in a reality. That makes sense. Your body is 11, and 10 is like the fascia,
Mhm.
probably the fascia, like probably. So that said, we're at 12. So we've come out of our becoming. Yesterday you became whatever your heart was incarnating, whatever your heart was embodying. You became that yesterday. And so yesterday was a solemn day for me, like, because my heart had, I think, and maybe people feeling this too, like try to separate the issues of your life and your relationship to yourself. My heart wasn't totally satisfied with where we are. My heart, saw a lot of room for progress. Wasn't excited about lots of things. I didn't get a superstar on my report card. It's not judgment. It's just disappointment, or not really happy, not happy, not happy. So I think for many people, that's the whole point of this particular the Leo season. This Leo season is like, hey, now that I've cleared my spiritual stuff and faced my shadow with Pisces, and that's Saturn and Pisces, Neptune and Pisces. Now that I've reminded myself that I'm strong with this new ego that's willing to do anything, my heart's not really happy with how things are going. I think I could be a lot happier, right? Like it could be better than this. And then there's now it could be better than this. There's a realization, and then the self-love lesson is okay. You just gave yourself a D on your report card. Now what do you do to yourself? Punish yourself, love yourself, encourage yourself. Like, so there's also, it's really most of your lesson of being a human is not what you get on your report card. It's what you do to yourself after. That's like that is the majority of what human beings are. Is how you respond to human being. That's your choice. That's where you have all the power. It's like you didn't really have the power with the report card, because so and so got in the way, and this happened and that happened, and you didn't so you got what you got. Like, you could have tried harder.
Right.
Sure, you could have done more and that sort of thing, but at the end of the day, a lot of shit happened you didn't even think about. Like, it had nothing to do with you. So you did the best you could in most cases. The punishment, or the growth, the soul's growth happens when the reality hits, and then you respond to that reality, that first response, right? Which is, we say in step 11, I'm going to love myself. I'm going to love myself some more. Like a very simple mantra of 1-1. I love myself some more. That to me is the best, cleanest response.
So when you're looking at your report card and you're having a realization, then that's kind of like the go-to is like, I'm gonna love myself and love myself more.
It has to be. It has to
That's
be
good.
2 doses of love, because one is survival, and I mean, one is just your normal. It's just your normal meal.
Oh, so you're saying you don't just say that and move on. You actually like, what can I do to love myself? And like, what's the second dose of it? It's not just
Yes,
a cool thing to say. You actually are finding
two doses, and 11 nets to a 2. So not only do you have to give it to yourself, you have to feel it. If you don't feel it, it's not real, right? So it's not realized either, because the vibration of the feeling is what tells everything else around you that that's what's happening. So it's like, so in other words, all right, I just spent 10 days, screwing around. No, 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 no. I get a D on my report card. I didn't really try hard. I didn't know these things. Okay, so I'm gonna love myself. I'm gonna love myself by not punishing myself for it, but rather rewarding myself for recognizing. So I'm gonna give myself a reward for being awake and aware that I know what's important right now. So I'm gonna reward myself for the bad report card. That's love, right? And And on the top of that, I'm going to, get myself a trapper keeper to, that's a blessing
Dude, that
to
back to the '90s there.
to totally track like the next 10 days. Like, so I'm going to invest in my future, right? And then I'm going to feel it. So feeling is like, think about that. How cool am I? Hmm. Like, think about how cool I am. I am cool. That's cool to me. Like, so you feel it, you allow yourself to experience the result of your investment of yourself. That's very important.
That's amazing. I hope everyone's paying attention to that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even do it. I mean, I have to, I mean, I don't always follow the steps, man. I skip steps. I know. I know, because I have to be, I understand. That's the word thing. I mean, I get what the way it's supposed to be, and I get the way I'm doing it. I don't lie
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like they're saying progress on perfection there. It's like, actually, if you want to perfect, so if a part of you wants to be perfect, perfect the process, not the outcome.
Hmm.
You want to be a nerd and be perfect. Okay, then clean this perfectly. Do not focus on it being perfectly clean. Clean it perfectly. What is the perfect way to clean it?
Right. The
The the
process.
the
Find the process.
process. Yeah, perfect the process, not the outcome. If you perfect the process, you'll have nearly a perfect outcome always. If you worry about a perfected outcome, your process will suck, and you'll be fighting yourself all the time on perfection. Perfect the
I
process.
Yeah, and I really like discovering. Like this is a process of discovery of okay, this is a report card. What can I do to love myself? And there could be an answer that pops up right away, or there could be a bit of searching. And then there's the second dose, like you're saying, and then it's like another dose. What is it? And that's practice. That's like us developing a skill to do that. And then it's like, okay, now I feel it. And
Right.
the more that you do this, the more that you go through this process, the more it I don't want to say automatically happens, but the more that map is familiar territory for you to do that.
That's correct. And the better you get at it, and the faster it comes, and the more creative it becomes. I mean, ideally, love is fun.
Right.
So, if you have a hard time loving yourself or having fun with it, then that tells you how shut down your heart is. And don't judge your heart for that. Don't punish yourself. Now they told you, but the point is like that's just the more confetti and you know and rainbow colors and stuff you need. Like you need more, colorful investment, more fun. You need more color, more fun, more flavor. You're not getting enough stimulus that stimulates you, makes you excited. And that is a issue for we live a little too way too deprived for our rich society. Actually, you're deprived of new ideas and fun and play. We don't get that
Connection.
stuff. Mhm.
Right.
Heart doesn't get very much exercise. That's why we're dying of heart disease, right? Um, so in that first place, so we just came out of that yesterday. Yesterday was, I love myself some more, and that was my mantra yesterday. The problem with 11 is it's when everything's coming into alignment, and
Hmm.
so when everything's coming into alignment, everything's actually wobbling. So the experience of the client is nothing is everything's out of place when actuality is coming together. It's a weird inside out kind of thing. So it's like you notice how messy the house is when you're cleaning it. It's like you notice how
Right.
wobbly your life is when you're putting it together. So you have to, that's why you have to feel. You have to feel and not think. Like 11 nets to a 2, you feel it. You have to feel it. Does it feel like it'll get better? Does it feel like it'll be okay? Because your feelings are more tolerant. They have like broader, looser boundaries, less deadlines. Feelings are like sloppy. And that's how you have to allow yourself to be. If you want to be really clean, you have to let yourself be really sloppy to be clean, like sloppy to get there. And the example there is like Virgo is cleanliness and Pisces is sloppy. They're opposites. In some cases, Virgos need to fucking relax and let it be sloppy. Pisces are opposite. And sometimes Pisces need to get their shit together and clean some stuff up. Virgo. The two sides of the astrology or the consciousness, balance each other out, the opposite sign. So, 11 is Virgo yesterday. It's a Virgo degree where everything's in alignment.
Hmm.
You know. So today we're at 12. So 12 is basically, we're already 2 days into the second decade, which means that we're already into, well, what should my life become? Like we've been asking ourselves for a couple of days now, what's wrong with my life? Even though we were also simultaneously figuring out, why am I not done yet? Why am I not together? So, that steps 10 and 11 is like, has two layers on it. It has the finishing of who you are to become this new embodiment of the heart with Leo, but then it has the first two steps of the next chapter, which is what do I want every day? What kind of life do I want? Right. And that's and so with Leo, it's like, is my heart happy with my life? Is the question. Am I happy with my life? Heavy
Yeah,
question. Heavy
I think
question.
that's the heaviness that I'm feeling, and probably other people. Uh,
It is.
yeah, that's the heaviness, and like I was trying to say, forks in the road, but the way you just said it was a lot clearer of a representation of what is happening.
What you're feeling is the times it wasn't. You're not feeling the present. So you have to kind of, this is where you want to use this is where you can do a little quiz like, is this heaviness now or the past? And you might find that it's fear of the future being like the past. A lot of times the heaviness is you're afraid the future will be like the past. But am I okay right now? I am. Well, shit. So a lot of times you got to ask yourself, how am I right now? We're actually okay. We're just worried. Okay. Well, then if we're okay and we're just worrying, well, then we don't need in this moment to add the worry because we're actually okay right now. Right? I'm actually okay right now. I'm just worried. Well, hold on. What? We're okay, and you added the worry? Like, why? I mean, like, why? Obviously, you remember. Like you don't need to. You know, I think worry's a worry is actually a very poor man, like cheap way of manifesting. It's like a cheap manifestation. It's like Kmart manifestation. Okay, you guys don't remember Kmart, but that was even cheaper than Walmart. And so it's a manifestation where if I just worry every day about being wrong, it won't be wrong because I focus on it every day, and at least it won't be what I worried about. And so it's like, instead of going for what I want, at least it won't be what I worried about. Like there has been like people have settled. And so worry is like a weird it's like a weird manifestation tool that works. But the problem is like if you worry enough, you'll actually make it happen because you put enough energy into it, it'll happen.
Right. Yeah. And the success of worry, like what you're hoping for, is just for that thing, that failure, that negative to not happen. And that, like you said, it's just putting you right above the thing that you're worrying about. And if you do it enough, you're gonna match right into it. Those
If you
two
become
options are
worried,
good.
if your life becomes worried all the time, your life will become worried all the time. Like whatever you be is what comes. You be worried all the time, what's coming is more worry, more reasons to worry. Your creative nature and the creative and creation will just keep creating more worry, more ways to worry. And so you'll find that you just like, oh, I finished this. I'm not worried about this anymore, but now I'm worried about that. Like you'll create a new worry as soon as because you were
Right.
worried about it, right? So the heaviness I feel is a lot of things. I do feel that we're afraid of the future being the past. We're also we only have memory of being let down mostly. I mean, we're not very good at remembering the good times. We're actually like our memory remembers the bad times more. So, and so we're concerned we have more punishment coming or something. The heart doesn't want to hurt anymore, right? And then there's other things too, like the heart is concerned that it's not going to get what it wants. It never got what it wants before. Why would it get what it wants now? It's like I don't have the money for what I want. Like, so the mind is like a co-conspirator here, which is gotta watch your thoughts because in the I love Leo state of awareness, when you're in this journey, you have to protect your heart. Okay. Protecting your heart means your alcoholic Uncle Bill can't come in the room and start talking about shit that scares you, which is your mind, right? Like your mind can't come in here like, yeah, but every time we never get it. Shut up. What are you doing? Like the mind will come in and like say all this stuff to you, and your heart's like, like you'll actually put yourself into more of a heart trap. So you have to protect your heart and say, no, 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 shut up. No, none of you guys, none of you wise guys coming in right now. None of those voices, I think, not, you just give it down a deadline, a boundary, like until a Virgo, no, you know, don't talk about it, don't think about it. It doesn't serve us, doesn't make anything better. You know, if it's never made it better to say that, well, then don't say it. Then no evidence, worrying yourself. So the point is like, so there's a combination of things. Like you've got to protect your heart during this period. Now, what's happening is that the heart is going to, I promise you, the heart will not be happy with everything you see, most of the things you see right now. Because we're coming out of a major, major, major end of a major dark era. We're coming out of the dark ages. So I expect almost everyone to be unhappy with what they see. Everyone. You didn't see it a year ago. That's your progress. Your progress was you were so obsessed with other things, you didn't even see how unhappy you were. That's how boggled down you were with bullshit, right? So if there's a silver lining, it's like, well, at least I see it. When I see it, I understand it. My heart resonates with it. It's probably also like we're also closing like years and years, decades or whatever of being unhappy and being okay with that, not being able to find our heart and being okay with that. There is some mourning where the heart probably needs to cry, and the way to love yourself is to let it out. Like it's not loving to make yourself hold it in. Like imagine holding in a sneeze and a fart in church for a whole hour, right? Like you're holding in this pain like a sneeze or a fart. Wow, that's hard. That hurts. You can't hold this stuff in. So a lot of times, the pain is the fact that you've been holding stuff in, and your heart just wants to breathe again, right? Or you've been in scary places, or you haven't been in unsafe places. Um, but here's the magic of today's step 12, because it's going to turn around by the end of the show. Because I'm going to give you the magic.
Cool.
The magic is there is absolutely something you don't know right now. There's something you don't know. There's something really big that you don't know. You don't know because you've been so obsessed with the other stuff. You didn't have time to look for this. You didn't have me. I was so obsessed with my shit, I couldn't tell you. So it's like none of us. And here's the thing. It's what your heart feels might be possible, what your heart feels. Okay, now that is not what you think. I didn't say think one time. It's your heart feels. My heart feels it might be possible to get away with this, or my heart feels I might be able to turn this speeding ticket around. My heart feels this might be possible, right? And of course, the mind part of you is like, that's stupid, you know. And that's like, again, asshole. I told you, you can't come in here, mind, during this time. It's the hard times for the baby, right? The heart. But today, you're going to find that your heart. So whatever you're facing, there is another. There is 100% promise. There's a golden yellow brick road miracle right under your feet right now that you don't see. Okay. You don't see it because you're not programmed to look for it. You're programmed to look for the pain, programmed to look for the problems, you're programmed to look for the president that's going crazy. You're programmed to look for the bombs dropping, and you're programmed to look for all this bad stuff. You're not programmed to look for the good stuff. No one's told you how to do that.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Because that could be something that just generally we all try to remind ourselves all the time that, like, all this is happening, but there must be something good to come out of this. But, like, why are you saying that now? Like, what's special about now that's making you say that?
What's special about now is that people have healed enough from their own pain that that they can separate their pain from the world's bullshit. Like, 6 months ago, the world's pain was your pain. Like we were codependent on the pain. We were too wired to it. Part of it's because the world has deliberately made us hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Part of the plan.
yeah. I mean, they have deliberately made us hurt, and when your heart realizes that for real, you're gonna be pissed, y'all. You're gonna be pissed. But that's the truth. And it doesn't matter what the truth really is. What matters is that it wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. Right? So people need to know it wasn't your fault you were lied to about nuclear bombs. It wasn't your fault you were lied to. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You're a good kid. So you should shut up. You stopped at the stoplight. You did all so it's like you did what was asked of you. So it's like a lot of knowing that in your heart. But um going back to just ask yourself, how many things in your day inspire you to be better, make you excited about who you are, remind you of how talented you are? Like, how many things reflect how cool you are? Like this show. I know this show does. That's my intent. I mean, your intent. Both of our intents is like to show them their light and their happiness, and to show them like some positive stuff. Most things in the world are not doing that. They're designed, I don't know, it's in the best case scenarios, they're designed to minimize the pain. Like, we want to minimize the risk, we want to minimize the pain. So you just need to know there's a 1 in 500 chance that your child is going to end up having this crazy disease and die. 1 in 5 million. We just have to tell you. It's like, fucker.
Dude, we just went over that with the earthquake. Like, there's gonna be a tsunami that's gonna take out California, and
I
like,
know. I actually noticed that. That's a great, thank you. I thought to myself, okay, first of all, here, everyone, we're in, I'm in Palm Springs. So we got a mountain range between us and the ocean. I'm like, bring it, bring it. I'm down with my lawn chair, like, bring it. I ain't gonna make a splash over that fucking mountain. But the whole thing, like, there's just the warning that went out. I was like, okay, you know, you guys couldn't even predict Japan. So, it's like, and you're telling us we got to worry in Malibu. Like, to me, there was a little bit of, see, that's just it. They weren't really concerned about human beings' feelings there, were they? They weren't really concerned about us staying calm, were they? It's like, very clearly, this is a haphazard way of saying stuff and telling people stuff, or whatever. You can see that there's not a lot of care that goes into that stuff, right? But the point is like, yep, for your safety, we're gonna freak you out, you know. But anyways, we allow ourselves to take that as truth. In that moment, did anyone go, does my heart feel a tidal wave's gonna hit me tonight? Did anyone check in with their own self? Like, God, God, should I run for the hills? God? Like, did anyone, you know, if because I do right away. People like, this is, I'll be like, not me. Right away, I'm like, nah. Like, if your heart doesn't give a shit, like, then that means no, it's not going to happen, because your heart is what creates this stuff. So if your heart says no, it means the heart has no blueprints for it, no script. The truth of the matter is, and it's going to take a long time for you to believe this, and you have to watch yourself over years, but you're going to realize that nothing happens to you that you didn't already agree to and already feel was going to happen. And if you think of a bad thing that happened to you, chances are it won't. Like, I learned early on, like, if I think this could go wrong, it doesn't go. Well, yeah, because in that feeling, you're like, what if this happens? Well, your soul's like, no, 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 no. As soon as you said no, the answer was no. You said no. Like, oh, this could happen. You said no, no, no. Oh, and then that's the answer. It's not going to happen. You just don't realize you have the power to do that. That's the problem. People don't realize that when you say no, no means no. Like, God takes that seriously. But the point is that in this week, your heart is like coming out and looking. Now that you've said to yourself, I'm gonna love myself some more, and just be there for myself. Now you go walk in the yard and you're like, look at this mess, right? Because now you just worked on yourself to be perfect. And of course, once something is perfect, everything that's not perfect is obvious. So part of the I love myself some more is that you see immediately, with that clarity, you see immediately everything that's not loved and loved some more by you. You see that this is not loved and loved some more. That picket fence needs to be painted. This has to happen. You can just see the lack of love everywhere. And sometimes people see the lack of love, and sometimes people see nothing but people treating them poorly during this next week, this next 10 days, this next second. And that's because you treat yourself poorly. Okay. So if you see people treating you poorly in the next 11 days, you treat yourself poorly. You're seeing you. Realize that everything you see in their world is created by you. And even if you don't believe it's created by you, the stuff you're seeing, you chose to see because it's you. So the stuff you're choosing to see is
right.
you. You want
Right.
to look at science, it's either science or you get science or religion, whatever you want. Science, like, well, you chose to look at this, so therefore it must be you because you made the choice to look at this. You could look at this, you didn't, you looked at this. So it's what you looked at, you chose to look at, but it's really at a deeper level, it is a reflection of who you are, right? If your fence is falling down, that means your boundaries are falling down. If you let your fence break down in your house, that means your boundaries are falling down. Like, so whatever is happening in your life is a reflection of who you are and where you are. Now, here's where your choice is. I just gave you a report card. Your life's a fucking mess. Your power is how you respond to yourself when that comes in. That's your power. Your power is not the mess because if you'd known better, you wouldn't have had it that way. So you obviously weren't in your power when you made your life a mess. Your power is how you respond to the realization that your life's a mess. That's your power. Like, you got to remember, that's your power. Your response is your power. So this is all about if you love yourself and love yourself some more, then when you realize you've been a complete idiot with fence maintenance, you love yourself and love yourself some more. You
Yeah.
have to, you
You,
really have to love yourself more when the fence is broken. Love yourself more when the job is strained. Love yourself more. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. The answer is still love yourself more.
it's almost like that's the way the fence gets rebuilt as well.
Because in all that love, you're like, let me just gonna go and buy it. Like in that joy in the love, you'll feel inspired. You'll have creative ideas. Your friends will giggle, make a joke that turns out to be an answer. Like, it all just comes to the field of love. It does not come to the field of pain, worry, sorrow, anything. So if you're in those states of being, you're not going to be inspired.
Right.
We're inspired when we laugh. We're inspired when we're having fun. I'm not saying laugh at a funeral, but I am saying the answer has to be more love. Like, it has to be loving yourself more. There's no other way. And that's also loving yourself as being more creative, decorating it more, adding more flavor to it, adding more spice, adding more. That's all more love, more color, more spice, more this, more that. That's all more love. But we're gonna find mostly that the reason why you don't love your life is because you didn't let your heart choose it. Your mind chose all this bullshit.
Ah, and you're deep in a hole that your mind created.
Your mind talked you into it.
Keep talking. I can hear you. I just gonna get a plug for
Okay.
my phone.
So no problem. So when you see something on a place, if your heart doesn't love what you see, walking down the street, if you don't love that or love the outfit you're wearing or love, the way your boyfriend's treating you, it's not the way your boyfriend's treating you. It's that your mind has been allowing it. Your heart never did. It's like your heart. If your heart was the one you asked every time, it'd all be awesome. But your mind's like, you can't do that.
Right.
Who the fuck are you, mind? Where do you come up with it? What are you, the next AI? you, the mind doesn't. The mind thinks it knows, and that's the thing. It's like the mind's been given way too much credit. It's not that smart. I call it the dumbass. It's really dumb. The mind is just really here to like compute zeros and ones, and and school makes you think. We're gonna take you to school, we're gonna teach you, we're gonna learn you. Like you're gonna memorize all this shit. The mind can only memorize so much. You all know that. You all know after the test you forgot it again. We all know that, right? Isn't that true? You forgot it all after the test? It's because the mind's not designed to hold all that stuff. That's not what it's designed to do. Like, it's designed to just hold enough, like, just to do your work right now. So designed by God, by the way. It's not designed to be this, like, intergalactic genius. Even, like, a physicist actually does it, like, a page of equations, and then his mind does the next page. He doesn't do all 12 pages in one. No one who's genius does it all at once. It's all page by page, dot, dot, but everyone does it piecemeal. The mind is dumb. It's got very little RAM.
It's like the assistant that thinks it's the boss, basically.
It sure does. hmm Well, and that was all part of, I don't know where that came from, but yes, it does think it's the boss. And that's because we pay more attention to what's being said by our mind, like the word for word, instead of paying attention to how it's making us feel or what our heart has to say. So our heart's reaction is the most important thing to anything. So if the mind's like, we're going to go to jail. Okay. Now the mind, what's the most important reaction? Thinking about all the things about jail or what our heart feels about it? That's the most important reaction. What the heart has to say about it is the most important reaction to anything what the heart has to say. Because that's who you are. You are what you love. You are your heart. So, in essence, this next week is really a revelation. Today's step 12. So, what today is, there's at least two options, and probably two, that you don't know about or haven't thought about or stuffed away. Which, if you ask yourself, does my heart feel that's possible? So, if your mind goes, no, okay, shut up, mind. Does my heart feel that's possible? Even though my mind said it's not. And that's your door out. That's the secret door you're not seeing. There's stuff your heart feels is possible that your mind keeps saying no to. And your heart feels it because your heart's got the script back here. I just wrote the fucking script. It's right here. I'm creating reality. It's right here in the script. Mind's like, no, it's not my script. You know. So the point is that this is high, but this is, you know what's funny is we got to ascension where we are now, and we're ascending. And would you believe ascension was paying attention to the heart and feelings? That's the freaking secret. That's the
Yeah,
secret.
it's it's
That's the secret.
it's not rainbow body or anything like that. It's just paying attention to your heart.
And your feelings. That's it. That's the secret. That's why we're dumb. That's why we were, that's the dark. The dark was the heart and the feelings were being asked. That's the darkness. The darkness is our heart and feelings. And you know why they feel so dark? Because we don't give them any attention. They're
Right.
abandoned. These parts of ourselves are abandoned. They look like
Yeah.
shit. They have no fun. You know, it's like this parts of ourselves, that's dark. It's a mean babysitter we've been to these parts of ourselves. We were told that was the way to do it. So yeah, it's not our fault. You know, the people who are responsible, and there are people, I mean, you know, they know it and they'll hurt over it on their own terms, because when you create a system that punishes you, then you become punished by your own system. No, you know, it's not even karma or anything. It's like you created punishment, and therefore you will punish yourself because you know that's what you create, that world, and that's what you're gonna live in. You know, like you made your bed, you're gonna lie in it. So
Yeah.
don't worry, no, they're gonna be under their own craziness. Like they created crazy that they're gonna be stuck in for a long time. They clearly don't know the way out, right? So they'll be taken care of. Don't worry about that. You don't have to ever worry about anyone else. Just your own heart. So this week, tomorrow, we go to step 13. Now, 13 is a very crazy step in Leo, because 13 that's to a 4, and 4 is Aquarius. So Aquarius is the opposite of Leo, right? So a 13 day is always a bit cray cray, but especially in Leo, because it's the opposite of the heart, right? Now, what's the opposite of the heart? It is indifference, right? The heart loves, I love it. The opposite of love is like, I don't know, I don't give a fuck. That's indifference. So tomorrow you will become indifferent about something. You know, that's what it is. The universe wants you to find where you're indifferent, right? Where you just don't give a shit. Now, you may think you care, but you don't really. That's where it gets complicated. Like, the truth is, you don't care about taxes at all. You're indifferent, aren't you? You don't give a shit. You have to. Your mind says you have to. But you don't care about it. I'm not saying don't pay your taxes. I'm just pointing out one area of your life where I know you don't give a fuck, right? I'm using this language on purpose too, just so it hits you hard. You don't give a fuck about taxes. I bet you, I bet you not one fucking American cares about taxes. Not even the goddamn IRS who gets paid for it. Don't care about taxes. No one cares about it at all. It could die and no one would even cry one tear. Not one tear. Okay? We're indifferent, right? We don't care. But our mind says you better care. So there's areas of your life where your mind is saying you better care, but you don't really care. And you're lying to yourself about it. Like you're letting your mind tell you you care when you don't care. All right. And that's the thing. You're afraid of the consequences of not caring. So it's like, I'm afraid of the consequences of not falling in love with the world's ugliest man. You know what I mean? It's like, what are the consequences of me not caring about this, this person that I don't care about? I'm trying to give you an example, like how ludicrous it is. But the point is like, you have your heart cares about something that your mind's telling you you don't care. That's the opposite. That's what it is. Like the difference is you've been acting like you don't care when you do about something. That's really the other side of it. It's like you've been acting like you don't care about something that you do care about. And the reason why you've been acting like you don't care about it is because your mind told you, it's just gonna get hurt. Don't start thinking about that. Don't think about that man you've been in love with your whole life. Don't think about the fact that he's married to another woman. I don't care. I don't care. You know, like we program ourselves to not care when we do care, and we program ourselves to care when we don't care. And that is why we're so fucked up.
Right.
Okay, that's why it is because we're like doing it this way, right? And so that's why you don't know what your heart wants because you being me, being everyone, we all pretend like we care when we don't care, and we all uh really care and pretend like we don't. That's where we're messed up. Now, you know what that the work of is? The devil. You want to call it the devil, whatever you want to call the devil. But there's this force that's constantly trying to get, ants to sleep with elephants. Like, what the fuck? Like, sorry. No, they're lovers, they are. There is a force that's always trying to twist things. There is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what to call it. I don't believe in Christianity's story of the devil and all that bullshit. I don't think that, but I do think there's this twisted energy that like tries to twist things around. And there are twisted people who try to twist us around. And I don't know why they're so twisted. They should go play Twister. But whatever it is, they must not like themselves very much because they spend all their time trying to twist things up with us. And so it's time to call a spade for a spade, in some regards, in the sense of like, hey, the reason why I cared about this is because my mom told me to. Well, why was she so twisted up about it? Well, her dad told her. Why was he so twisted up? Well, the government told him, it's like you'll find that everyone that twisted it up was twisted by someone else.
Right.
And it's like, truth is, I don't care. So we have been giving energy to things, we have been giving love to things we don't care about, and we've been not giving love to things we care about. That's why we're not happy. That's why our life isn't what we want, because we're not giving to our life what we care about. We're not paying attention to what we care about. We're paying attention to the rules,
Right.
right? That's the
Yeah. The
right.
focus is a little off.
Oh,
Like we're looking at things backwards.
backwards is the word. Yeah, it is all backwards, upside down. It is. It's a mirror
So you're
reflection.
saying tomorrow that something reveals itself that we don't care about.
We realize our heart believes this. That's step 13. My heart actually believes this, but don't tell your father, right? My heart believes this, but don't tell the government, right? When you say your heart believes this, but don't tell anyone, that is, I'm pretending to care about something I don't really care about, right? It's the same thing. So you're going to realize, well, today you're going to realize, oh, it's pop. Today you're going to realize, you know what? My heart feels this could happen. My heart feels this could happen, right? And you just should, and the way you get to today is you just step back and you start throwing wild stuff at it, right? So it's like, okay, I don't have a car for the next semester. Does my heart feel like I can roller skate to work? No. Does my heart feel like I can motorbike? No. Does my heart feel I can fly? No. Like you just start throwing stuff out there like spaghetti to the fridge. Like, and you ask yourself, does your heart feel as possible? Does your heart feel as possible? And you will see that there's little cracks and stuff that the mind was like, no, no, never gonna happen. But my heart feels it's possible, right? You'll see where your heart feels there's something there, and the mind can't see. That's the crack. That's the epiphany. And then you go, well, let's pursue it. Let's
Right.
go down that path. So let's go see if that's true. Let's see if there really is a thing over there, right? So you just start walking down that path. That's what I call a rite of passage. That is called an emotional rite of passage. Your feelings are all tied up. Will it be or not be? Oh my gosh, I mean, we're gonna find it. We'll find out if that's the case. If the person can get to the edge of the bridge and find out, like, so that that is there's a step 12, like rite of passage with step 12. Like I'm gonna have to see for myself. Now you can see and be like, no, it wasn't, huh? Which then, if it's a not, then that affirms another thing. Like, oh, well, that's a not, then that's not a not, and that's a yes. So right away, even the wrong thing leads to the right thing. Well, that's not where it was. It's not in the attic. Well, thank gosh, not in the attic. Well, now it may be in the basement. Like as soon as you eliminate one, that's not a bad thing. If you feel like it's possible and then you realize it's not, that's a problem. You just realize you just cut off a whole bunch of choices. You put those aside.
Right.
So what happens tomorrow? Step 13 is a realization of what your heart believes. It's like my heart believes that I'm being lied to over here. My heart believes that this is the case. That's what I believe in. I mean, I got no proof or whatever, but I go to the grave with that. So a person can go to the grave, like I just believe this is the way it is. I have no proof. Well, if your heart believes, step, which is 1-3, then you belong there. That's what God says. God's like, well, if you believe that, you belong over there. Oh, you believe in Christ? Oh, you belong over there, Christians. Oh, you believe in this? Oh, you belong there with Muhammad. You believe in eating people? Oh, you belong there in South America in that tribe that eats people. Like, if your heart believes, that's where you belong. That's what one thing. That's what it comes down to. You belong where your heart believes. That's it. No judgment. No, out there. Those tribes, they'll help you out. They'll help you kill you and eat you. So it's like you go down there. So 13 is like a realization. Like we just talked about 13 today in our meeting today because it's like 13 is a realization of like the cheese stands alone. But I'm the only one that believes that. I know. Right? A lot of times you're the only one in the family who believes that. You're the only one in the community that believes that. You're the only one everywhere, anywhere believes that. You're the only one. You know what that's called? Innovation. You're a leader. You're a pack leader. That's why you're the only one that believes. If your heart believes it, only you know if you're lying. Does your heart believe it? Yeah, it does. So you have to be able to tell that. Like if your heart believes it, you have to be able to tell that. If it says yes, you're screwed because that's it. Your heart believes it. You can't go against your heart now. And so that's why step 13 is a revolutionary step. The United States is a step 13 cancer. The heart believed they could actually don't need Great Britain. The heart believed they didn't have to do that. I know someone was like, you're fucking crazy. Like, our heart believes we can get away with it. Our heart believes we got enough things here we can get away with it. So their heart believed it was true. If your heart believes it, then it is true. So step 13 is cancer, and America is a step 13 cancer. Our heart doesn't believe the same things that other people believe. That's why people are like, you arrogant pricks. I think America comes off as arrogant because our heart disagrees with half the world. We disagree with you. We disagree. It doesn't have to be that way. That's step 13. That is tomorrow, Tuesday. Wednesday, step 14. So it's like, my heart believes this. Well, then you belong over here amongst the cannibals. All right. So step 14 is, well, and my heart belongs with these people, they eat people, then I think I'm a cannibal. But I think, net 5, 14 is net 5, that I think this. So as you can see, just from 12, maybe and 13, my heart believes, and then, well, if I belong there, then you can see the heart is climbing out of this hole the whole week because you're starting to see, well, I just keep going on these clues.
Ah,
That's the subsystem. And so by 14, you're like, well, if my heart belongs there, well, then I'm a this, a label, a 5, a number 5, a word. I'm a this. And then it's like, and then you go home and you're like, oh my God, I'm a cannibal. You know, like your mind's like, oh my God, like there's an oh my God moment after 15, which is step 14. You're like, at 5, like, then I'm a cannibal. I like eating people. Shit. You know what they do to those people? They eat them. You know what I mean? But like the point is, since step 15 is like my heart, 15, my heart has to love the idea because this is who I am. I have to love the idea. This is it. I have to love this idea. If I don't love this idea, I can't net 6 accept it. I need to accept the fact that this is who I am. Just be the same as like, I'm a guy and I love guys. So that means I'm gay. That means I have to accept the fact that I'm gay. I have to accept the fact that I'm different than everyone. That's what's great about the gay movement. It's like, it's actually helped us with like step 13, 14, 15 really, really well. Like, as a culture,
yeah.
as we watch the gay community come out of the closet, at least I watched them come out of the closet, like in the 80s and 90s, and like, it was like, wow,
Very
like
difficult.
that's fucking brave, man. We need that courage. So that's cool. And I use this example all the time. It's like, then I must be this. And am I gonna love myself because I'm this? So 15, let's see, 13 is Tuesday, 14 is Wednesday, 15 is Thursday. So 15, you're like, I just have to love the fact that I'm this. You have to accept yourself, on 15. And then on 16, your heart opens up to God. And 16 is Friday. And 16 is, by the way, Lionsgate.
Right.
Okay.
88, baby.
Lionsgate is step 16. That's the step number for it. Step number explains Lionsgate because what Lionsgate is like your heart opens up to God and goes, I'm this. I'm this. My life is this. I'm this. I'm getting goosebumps doing this little sermon. And it's like, am I okay? So 16 net 7 which is Friday, which is Lionsgate, which is the cosmic portal that they talk about. It's kind of true, but for different reasons we can't go into right now. Because right now the Earth moves around, so technically Lionsgate is in July now. It's not really in August. Like technically, Lionsgate is not 8/8. 8/8 was added later. That's just the whole thing. Like the actual Lionsgate was the alignment was Sirius. Sirius has now moved to Cancer. It was in Leo back in ancient Egypt. Now it's in Cancer because of the precession equinox. So technically, Lionsgate should be like 7-7. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not. Anyways, it is still powerful. And it's interesting that our minds all have this like this false holiday on 8/8 because it actually is Sep 16, that 7 in Leo. And Sep 16, that 7 in Leo is when the heart fully surrenders to the truth. I am this. I accept it. My heart accepts step 6. My heart, step 1, accepts step 6, this truth. And I have no choice but to give it up to heaven, to 7, give it to God, give it to grace, because I don't know how to get out of this or do what to do. This has got to go up to the sky, the gods. I don't know what to do. So you give it to a higher power, 7. And in that higher, and so as soon as you give it to a higher power is like, we're so glad you asked. In this world of free will, because we couldn't help you until you asked.
Right.
So what happens
Yeah.
is you get it. You get it because you asked.
I think that's like very overlooked of the profoundness of that. Like this is a free will universe, and we get to and have to uh, give permission for things to happen to us, and also the asking enables other pathways to open up for us.
And why are we respected like that so much? Why is our free will respected so much by heaven? Why? Because we're God.
Right.
We're God. Are you to tell God, who made children of God, that they don't have the right to do what the fuck they want? Hell no, I'm not telling God that. It's like we are God. That's the evidence that we're God right now. We would not all have the free will, 100% free will, if we were not God. Of course, God gives it to himself. Of course.
Right.
Like, and it's like, I don't think people have really digest the gravity of being God. Like, oh yeah, we're all God. Aren't we all a piece of God? Everything's a piece of God. It's like, no, they didn't get it. It's like God's fingers went out, all the way to becoming you, Ra. You're like one of his fingertips. I'm a fingertip.
Yeah.
We are one, connected in the body of the embodiment of creation. We are creation. We are it. We're not outside of it. And we're certainly not a sinner, because that's a stupid creation. Why would creation create an anti-creation?
Right.
It's not. You know, so the point is like when you ask yourself for something, the answer is always going to be yes if you like yourself. So when you ask God for something, the answer is going to be yes because God likes himself. Sure, little me, you can have that too. Sure. It's a sure for everything. Why would there be? If you really look at it like the big picture of it, well, of course. But it starts to help you unravel. There's no judgment. There's no anything. And here's the test, guys. If your heart gets more and more happy, more and more tender, it cries, and has like it's been through a Hallmark movie that wasn't on the Hallmark network because those movies sucked, then you'll find that you're on the right path. This week, if you become more tender and more in your heart, you're on the right path. That's the whole point. Is we are love. We are love. And so if your life is not love, you're not being who you are. You're not being who you are if your life's not happy, that's not who you are. But you know what? In heaven, everyone actually is happy all the time. That's what I'm learning. I've got new sources. Everyone is happy all the time. There is nothing, everything painful, everything you see, all the doubts, the worries, it's all an earth thing. None of it actually exists at all. The only thing in heaven is joy and happiness. There's absolutely nothing at all else beside that. That's why we chose to come down to this perverted, fucked up place, because it's interesting.
Right.
It's very interesting to us. It's very interesting. That's it. And it
That
tells us
explains
like
why we keep on making things hard for ourselves. It's like this, we're here for it.
we have no experience in making things hard for ourselves. We're not trained in that. That's not who we are. We're being we're experimenting with being not us to see what us is. That's what life is. Life is like, let me not be me to see what I am. That's why God created the universe. Let me create this thing that's not me so I can see what me is. God couldn't see who he was, so he needed to create a reflection of himself to understand who he was. That makes sense. He couldn't look. He needed to create something to look back at himself. He didn't know what he looked like. He did not know what he looked like. Right, an interesting thing, like, but you're studying the mind of creation, and that's it.
Hmm.
If you're in the mind of creation, then you don't know what creation looks like. You don't know what your created looks like. So we come down here and we throw our piece of our soul into this world to see what we look like and to see what we do during interesting things that would never happen in heaven. Would never happen in heaven, never. So, you know, the only thing that's important, because I'm giving you a lot of like rhetoric today, but like, is that your heart is who you are. Period. That's who you are. You're
The
not your mind. You're not your mind. You're not your thoughts. You're not even your feelings. Your feelings are actually a side effect of your heart. Feelings are a side effect of your heart. They're not actually the heart. They're a side effect. Your heart is who you are. What you love is who you are. If you don't love it, it's not who you are. So it's like, but I don't love taxes because you ain't fucking taxes. None of us are taxes, right? That's not who we are. And we're
right.
being forced to be who we're not. There's, and that's where it goes. Where this goes is this period is a hard period because you have to recognize there's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect. That's what people are going to realize. Some people are going to realize in this next 3 weeks there's nothing wrong with them. Now that is when things get really messed up on Earth because when the people realize they're not the problem, then there's a problem. And that's going to be the issue. That's really why hair raises in the next 18 months. It's not because we're being attacked. It's because why are we being attacked? We're going to wake up and realize this is not our problem. This is not our creation. My heart didn't want this. My heart didn't want that. Well, then it's not supposed to happen. Well,
Hmm.
then who's making it happen? Exactly. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. And meanwhile, there's like, I don't know. I don't want to make anyone take this wrong, but it's just like I can just see the people responsible like eating cake. Like, did they just call us out? They're up shit's creek, kind of thing. But I even think, the truth is we'll be kind to them in the end and we won't punish them. So I'll put that out right now. We're not gonna punish anybody. We're gonna let everyone get away with what they did because that's what we would have wanted in our heart.
Yeah.
Our heart, look, if you made a major mistake and you ran over this thing and you hurt this person and you hurt all these people, your heart wants to get away with it, doesn't it? Your heart wants to get away with it. That's because your heart knows the truth. It's not real. The point is that there's some absurd extrapolations of this idea that people are going to be like, "You're a fucking nutcase. You must think the Earth is flat." You know what I mean? Like, or whatever. And the truth of the matter is, no, we're starting to realize just how false all this is. It's just wow, wow, wow. Pretty mind blowing. But in the story, I'll just say this. I told my subscribers today too. There's something that you have hidden from yourself. You have a present from yourself that you have to open. You're going to open this week. Everyone's going to open up a present from themselves. They're going to get a present. Their heart's going to give them something that nothing else in them can give them but their heart. And it comes from loving them, loving yourself. So it's like, I just made the worst mistake in the world. Well, the present will be like, but I still love you. Who cares? That's quite a
Right.
gift. Once you have one of those gifts from yourself, there's no going back. Like you will never hurt yourself again for something. When you realize you could have been when you realize you'll fix everything by just loving yourself. You'll fix everything by not punishing yourself. You'll fix everything by loving yourself. You'll fix everything in one smart moment and move on. And no one gives a fuck, really, except someone who can't forgive themselves. They're like, you can't do that. Oh, I guess you didn't forgive yourself. I guess your heart didn't. So when they're saying you can't do that, that's because they didn't get their heart didn't pardon them. So they want you to suffer with them. Well, I'm gonna suffer. You gotta suffer. It's an equal country. Like, that's not what they meant. You know what I mean? So anyone who disagrees with you and wants you to go down a certain path of suffering, just have some compassion for them. They're obviously in a lot of pain. If they want you to be in pain, they must be hurting really bad.
Yeah. It's what they
And
know.
so feel
There's
sorry for
hunger.
them. Don't fight with them. Just feel sorry for them. You know, because you'll save each other of a lot of stuff because they'll just keep escalating. They'll just keep trying to prove to you you're wrong. They're trying to prove that you're not wrong. It's like I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're in so much pain, man. Oh fuck. Like if you want me to feel this bad, then you must feel like a fucking piece of shit. I mean, it's right there in the pudding, man. Well,
Yeah.
so because I think it's part of it too, because this is also the week where, we're a little over, but this is a week where our hearts are also comparing ourselves to other people. Do they love me? Do they love me? Does that person love me? Does that person love me? The teen degrees, all the teen degrees were in 11, 12, 13. These are all the teenage years. This is our teenagers out. This is our teenager that runs this part of it. Our teenager runs our lives. All the teen degrees are teenager things. And so the teenager in you is like, I told Raw I can't be on, I was to be on late. He gave me a bad look. But you know what? He's a stupid guy. Going down that kind of thing where it's like, that's a teenager going, oh, Ra must not love me because I did something wrong. And the truth is that no, you're not loving yourself for doing something wrong. You're punishing yourself and saying, I shouldn't have done that. It made wrong happen, happy. And then because of that, you project on the person, you must be unhappy or whatever. So the truth is, if you just love yourself, you won't feel bad in front of Raw, right? Now, Raw still may be messed up in the head, and he's still, maybe play that game. But my point is, like, it's someone has to start
Right. Yeah.
and just be like, I love myself, and I hope you're not mad at me, Raw. I hope you love me still. But if you don't, I love me. I love me some more.
Right. Yeah. Someone has to start being centered in the heart.
Totally.
Right. And I
Yeah.
like, so today was 11, right? And then tomorrow's 12, and then
No,
Wednesday.
today's 12. Today's 12.
Oh,
We're at 12
today's
already.
12.
We went to 12. Yeah, we went to 12 early last night. So we'll go to 13, I think tonight, like around just before midnight.
Okay.
And so what happens in 13 is if you've been saying you believe something but it's not true, it could fall apart. So 13 is like if you've been lying to yourself and saying something that's true and it's not, God will be like, you're lying. Like so 13 has like this little like this little tattletale part of it. It's the net four. It's like, no, 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 sorry, that's not true. Like that's what Uranus is. Like you'll have a breakdown. Something will break down. Like or it's just like this, this is something not working. Why is everything falling apart? Because it's based on a false belief. It wasn't real. Your heart doesn't believe that. So eventually, if your heart doesn't believe it, it dies. Your heart has to believe defeated energy. If you don't believe, it starts to die. If you don't believe in your music, it's going to die. If you don't believe in you have to believe in stuff, which is your heart, step one, feeling it to make you believe. Belief is love, feeling, belief. Belief is number three. If your heart feels it, you automatically believe it. So if you don't believe it, then your heart's not feeding it. And so it's going to die because it's not getting your life force. Your creations are your constant life force. They will cease to exist. I mean, Serious Joy would cease to exist if I wasn't there every day going, I believe, I believe, I believe. The step system wouldn't exist if I didn't believe it every day. If I didn't
Right.
believe it, it wouldn't exist.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So if you don't believe it, pull out.
Right. And that's tomorrow is
Yeah. So
figuring
tomorrow's gonna be a
out.
lot of thunderstorms tomorrow.
Yeah.
And a lot of tests to believe too, because like, you know, the president's actually selling dope. Do you believe it? Like there's a lot. You're going to test on your beliefs about something that if you're too attached to things you can't control, you're going to get slapped a little bit. Because you only need to control stuff you love. You only control stuff you love. Do you love the president? Then you can maybe control it. But if you don't love him, you're not controlling him. Not one way, shape, or form. You're not controlling anyone. And it's not even control. It's not even really control. Control is a weird word. It's that when you love something, it tends to want to love you back. That's the influence you have. So you love something, it wants to love you back. Love wants to beget love. It's not even a control thing. When you give a whole bunch of love to stuff, it's real hard to ignore it. And not to say I love you too. It's real hard because love wants to be together. It doesn't want to be apart, right?
Right.
So if you love something, you have influence over it because you're feeding all this love, and it's hard for it to ignore you with all that love coming in. If
I
you
think
don't love
we
it,
all can find examples of that in our own life of people shining love on us, and those are the people that we pay attention to, or the things that we pay attention to. It's like our dogs. It's like all they
yes,
do, and they get everything from us.
yes. or or one of these Instagram influencers are on this thing right now. I was like, I love it, I love it, I love it. I keep hitting like, keep hitting like. It's like, oh my god, I'm so loved by everybody. Oh my god, like it's like, yes, you are. But the thing about that is like, and did you love back?
Right.
you know,
Okay.
we're
So
done.
we're not here all day long.
We
We
could.
could be, yeah.
It's a big life.
So should we wrap it up?
Yes. So,
Yes.
and I've given you pretty much the essence of it. I mean, you might have to edit this one, but it's like, yesterday was 11. I love, integrity of loving myself first. Today, it's like there must be a way out. 13 is, oh man, the way out is radical because everyone else doesn't believe that but me. And that tends to be 13. 13 is the isolating step number. You always are alone in that moment for that moment because it's all about you only, what your heart believes. Your life is what your heart believes, what your heart believes. That's it. No one else is included in that equation. Now, wives, kids, gerbils, nothing. It's what your heart believes. That's it. That's you as God. You're God, so only you decide. You're the God of your world, so only you decide what that is. No one else. So that's kind of a lonely moment where it's like, we might get ourselves killed here, and then step 14 is when your heart goes, my heart does belong with this. It does. I do belong. That means I'm a cannibalist. I do like eating people. And so your heart realizes that, like you come with the term cannibalist, and then you have to accept that, like, God, man, can my heart accept living with the fact that I'm this? Now, if your heart loves you, yes, the heart, if it is who you are, your heart be like, of course I love you, because it's who I am, right? But everyone says it's bad. Who's right? The one that feels better is right.
More in alignment.
If it feels better, it's the right one. If you feel right, like, I feel pretty good about that, then it's right. I don't feel good about that. It's wrong. It's pretty much that simple. But like, so you realize, like, wow, my heart, that's what my heart wants. And I've had a lot of realizations I can't, talk about on the air, and probably never talk on the air, but it's like some of the stuff my heart wants and loves, people might be shocked at. Like, and it's just like, it's not bad, but you'd be shocked, you know. And I realized, oh, I hate all this stuff because I don't want people to think bad of me. And even now, like, what is it? Like, but my heart loves it. My heart wouldn't give it up for the world. Not for you, not for anyone. Like, my heart loves these things. So it's like the fact that, like, I love when I smoke cigarettes, I love cigarettes. I like smoking them. I did. I loved it. Yeah, that's the case where I had to. It's like, no, actually, it's got poison in it. So you fall in love with poison. And that happens a lot. We often fall in love with poison, because it's just so good. And as much as it seems good as it is poison, so your heart can fall in love with the wrong things, by the way, that hurt you too, like people. You can fall in love with the person and love them to death, but they hurt you. They hurt you, then I'm sorry. As much as you love it, that's the only time you got to turn your back on it. If it's hurting you, then you got to say, I love me a little bit more than I love it. Like, it only becomes a contest when what you love is hurting you. Now it's a problem. Now you have to choose them or you, right? And some the people make you do that, unfortunately, and that's what you hear. You should hear. If they had been a different way, you could have had it both ways. But some people choose not to, and so that's their right. You know. So if something's hurting you and you love it, it can't last very long. It can't last very long because you're gonna end up choosing it over you. And that's where we are a lot of times too. That's what religion is. Jesus died for your sins. Now you need to die for Jesus. You know what I mean? It's like, no, he didn't ask you that. But it's like, giving away your heart. God giving away the God powers to something else is not the solution. It's like you keep your heart, you keep your powers, you keep your love.
Yeah.
Because one thing about love is tied to creativity. And so you can create one just like that. That's what you don't realize. You have one, you create another one. You
Hmm.
can, you can create endless versions of them. Look at all the blonde women that Johnny Carson married. It's like endless versions. You can create endless versions. So don't get hung up on just one creation. It's just one. There's so many. So don't get too tied. There's more that came from
Right. Yeah. We're the
infinite.
creator.
Feels like we had to say that today for some reason because we die inside. Oh, that's interesting. No, something you created died. You don't ever die. You can never die. You wouldn't even know you died inside if you actually died. You actually died. You wouldn't even know it.
I think that's accurate. It sounds like what she meant, that what we
Yeah.
created, like our attachment to something dies.
Yes. Totally. And I'm actually, I'm on her side. I'm just saying, don't get bewildered by that. Like a little pain is not going to kill you.
There you
And
go.
the heart. Oh, I want to say one more thing. We have to stay late. If you have to do what's best for you and it hurts someone else, you have to do it. If you have to do what's best for you and it hurts someone else, you have to do it because it's best for you. And when you do what's most loving for you, you will do what's most loving for them. The reason why people are hurt is because they refuse to see that it's also the best thing for them. They refuse to see it because they want what they want. They want it their way. And they're not realizing that in the world of creation, there's 1,000 ways to do this, 1 billion ways, a trillion ways to do it. Why are you holding on this one way? It's because you're holding on because you're scared you
Mhm.
can't do it another way,
Right.
right? And it's like, no, if there's one thing there's always another way. Always another way. Always. Yeah, always. Infinite. There's infinite ways to do it. So a lot of people come to me and saying, I've a lot of people calling relationships right now come to me and like, but it's gonna hurt them. Well, first of all, no, it may actually not. Like half the time, it doesn't actually hurt them. They're relieved and they're excited themselves too. Half the time, when I hear the stories in the end. So how did it turn out? Did he throw the book at you? No, he went and had a party. It's like that son of a bitch. He doesn't even care. So you flip on them. It's like yeah, because that's what he wanted to, or that's what she wanted to. Like they were scared to tell you too. So when you love somebody, um, that's what they say is set them free. Like
Right.
don't keep them in your loop, in your prison, because you're afraid of hurting them. You're keeping them in your prison of lie or omission because you're afraid of hurting them. And you know what? Um, that's hurting them more, really, silently, slowly. You know, that's what causes cancer, stuff like that. It's like they'll always be fine because they are also God.
Right.
So they will be fine. It may take them a while to figure it out. They might blame you for a long time. All that's true. Yes, they might try to destroy you. Sure, they might try. Like, but it'll be hard for them to destroy you because it takes a lot of creativity and love to make something happen. So you only got so much fuel when you want to hurt somebody. Yeah, that's why you have to hit a car or a bomb or something. Because hurting people takes a lot of work. It's a lot of energy. Only love is what gives you that kind of energy. So that's what a sociopath is. They love it. Like there's some twists of the wires, but the point is that uh, this is a time, and so I say it very heavily. If it's you or them, pick you because they'll be fine. If it's the most loving thing to do for you, it's the most loving thing to do for them.
All
God built
right.
love. Love is built that way by nature. If you do what's most loving for you, you will do what's most loving for everyone. That's the way love works. That's the way it works. Your mind may not understand it. You may not see it for a long time, but it will be. That is the truth. You have to just take a few risks and try it a few times in your life. Even with my things that I was worried about hurting people, they're so happy now. They're so happy.
Yeah. You get to the other side and look
They're
back and
so
think
happy. They
it's
can't
the
even
best
imagine
I ever
going
have.
back.
Yeah.
I was so worried and I stayed up so long. You're just wasting your creativity and you're wasting your time. Be loving about it. Don't slam the door on their face or whatever, but be loving, be sweet, but you can't make another person happy. They have to choose to make themselves happy. No one can make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. People can inspire you to be happy, but your ego thinks you're the one making them happy. That's your ego. You're
Yeah.
not. You're not doing that. People are who they want to be. So I think it's a good way to end it because I think there will be a lot of endings coming up. I'll just say a lot of relationships will be ending because they were pretending their heart was in it when their heart wasn't in it, and they were doing it probably because they loved them, but that's not what they really wanted. And so it's a hard moment, but it also makes you really strong because next time you choose correctly, you never make that mistake again, ever again. And just one of those coming of age moments as an earthling. It's hard, but we'll get there, guys. Right?
Yeah. This is what we're here for.
It
All
is.
right,
Yay!
Chris.
Thanks, Ra.
Yeah,
We'll see you.
everybody.
Mhm.
SeriousJoy.tv to learn more about Chris and
.com.
his offering. .com.
.com. Yeah, come to .com. You know what, guys? You may need some help with these reminders, and I'll send them to you 7 times a day. I'll text you 7 times a day. Honestly, if you love me, you'll do it. And I love you, so I'll stay up late tonight and make it work. Like we need to help each other now. We all need to help each other. So, if we don't give to the things that we love, then they're going to go away.
That's
So
right.
remember, you keep things alive. You do. So thank you, Ra. So Mondays are great with you, dude.
Yeah, me too. I look forward
Yeah,
to it. See
me
you
too,
next
dude.
Monday.
See you next Monday. Be safe. Be in the
Bye,
heart.
everybody.